To racing people, August means Saratoga, Victorian houses, and breakfast on the clubhouse lawn. Racing as it used to be, and the Travers Stakes. This year's favorite comes from north of the border. Ali Deed is his name. He was a good second to Pine Bluff in the Preakness, and he's an idol in Canada. Here he was after winning his country's most famous 3-year-old race, the Queen's Plate. He may yet be Canada's best since Northern Dancer, but the crowd here has other favorites, too. Like Dixie Brass, he'll go to the lead and try to win wire to wire, as he did beating older horses in the Metropolitan Mile at Belmont Park. But trainer Shug McGahee is hungry for victory at Saratoga this year, and he likes his late-blooming colt called Furiously, winner of 3 races and 4 starts. And there are others, of course, 10 in all. All are competing for $1 million in the Summertime Derby, the Travers Stakes. We're in Saratoga, where the horse comes first, particularly in the month of August. Horseless carriages give way to thoroughbreds, heavy traffic or no heavy traffic when it's time for racing here. Saratoga, the spa, reminder of an earlier time, but the scene of the highest quality racing, climaxed by today's $1 million Summertime Derby, the Travers Stakes. We'll be back later here in Saratoga with live coverage of the big race. Well, hello, I'm Jim McKay, and last night in Auburn Hills, Michigan, 11 Olympic medalists, including this summer's Olympic stars, were on hand for a very special gymnastic performance. Among the American gymnasts participating were Shannon Miller, Kim Zmeskal, and Trent Demas. And from the unified team, winner of 6 gold medals at the recent Olympics, Vitaly Sherbo. All of them performing at the McDonald's Gymnastics Spectacular. And for more on that right now, here's John Neighbor with Kathy Johnson and Bart Connor. Saratoga is a phenomenon in the world of thoroughbred racing. It's just a tiny town in upper New York State, but in the month of August, racing fans jam the thruway from New York City to drive 3.5 hours just for racing at the spa. In fact, Saratoga outdraws both Aqueduct and Belmont, the big New York City tracks. Well, good afternoon. I'm Jim McKay reporting from Saratoga on a gorgeous afternoon. You know, the 3-year-old division of horse racing this year is kind of like a championship baseball team hobbled by injuries in the late season, but still driving for the wire. For example, Derby winner Lily T is out with an injury. Preakness winner Pine Bluff has been retired. The Belmont winner, AP Indy, he's still resting his tender foot in California. Well, when your stars are out, you go to your bench and to the young athletes who weren't ready earlier in the year. And the bench of the 3-year-olds this season is strong. Today, for example, you're going to see a very talented and competitive field of 10 led by the Canadian invader, Ali Deed. It's the 123rd running, by the way, of the Travers Stakes, a race that's older than any of the Triple Crown races. So here are the conditions. The purse is a huge one. $1 million is on the line. The distance, the classic 1.25 miles. The track very fast. They've been near the track record in shorter races today. Temperature 80 degrees and the wind is not important. Let's take a look right now at the odds, however. And the odds show that Dixie Brass, the speed merchant, is second choice at 4-1. BN from California, 8-1. Tank's Number is 21-1. Hold Old Blue is ridden by Pat Day, who has had 4 winners of the first 6 races contested here today. He's at 23-1, just the same. Ali Deed is the favorite at 2-1. And as for the others, well, let's take a look. Okay, I can give you the others here. The graphics stuck just for the moment. Here we go to number 6, who is Furiously at 6-1. Number 7, Devil His Due at 9-2. That's 4.5-1, of course. Number 8, Dance Floor, trying again at 19-1. Number 9, Leonardo, the long shot at 70-1. And then the talented New York bred Thunder Rumble being held at 7-1. And which of them's going to win? Well, listen to Dave Johnson's analysis of the favorites. Dave?
This strikingly handsome northern invader is Ali Deed, who has not been seen in the U.S. since his gritty runner-up effort to Pine Bluff in this year's Preakness. Trainer Roger Atfield decided to bypass the Belmont and took Ali Deed home to Canada, where he won 3 straight, including the Queen's Plate, in an 11.5-length romp. Then, 3 weeks later, in the second jewel of the Canadian Triple Crown, Ali Deed met a muddy track, a thoroughbred named Ben Burb and Defeat, at odds of 1-20. It was time to regroup and head for the Travers at Saratoga, where regular rider Craig Perrette will be aboard the best horse to come out of Canada since Northern Dancer. His main competition will come from Dixie Brass, and it will come early. The smallish, muscular colt, trained by Dennis Bright, a 43-year-old Brooklyn native, is saddling his first Travers starter. The game plan is simple. The same used in the Met Mile. Turn him loose, unquote. Dixie Brass has made a giant forward move this summer, and in defeating older stars like Pleasant Tap and In Excess, he's not been given the credit he deserves. Maybe today. Furiously, who has raced only 4 times, is a puzzlement. Trainer Shug McGahee has never been off the board with his 6 Travers starters and 1 with his last 2. The horse missed some valuable training time because of a foot problem, but was spectacular, winning his first 3 starts by an average of 10 lengths. His jockey, last year's Saratoga champ Mike Smith, in the thick of the riding battle again this August. The New York-bred Thunder Rumble was highly regarded before this year's Triple Crown. In fact, when a virus forced him out of the Wood Memorial on race day, he was the Wood morning line favorite. After a dull comeback turf effort in July, he was 24-1 in the Jim Dandy, the major prep for today's Travers, and turned in this sparkling performance, equaling the track record at 1 1/8 miles. And the new and improved Devil His Due is also in the lineup. Winner of this year's Wood, he's been changed from a close to the pace performer to a real stretch runner by veteran conditioner Alan Jerkins, who with a relatively small band of horses is having quite an August. He's the leading trainer at the spa, and everything he saddles is dangerous. There's been a star search in the 3-year-old ranks since Arazi went down in flames in the Kentucky Derby. We'll have a star after this afternoon's Midsummer Derby, and Jim, I think it'll be Dixie Brass.
All right, Dave. Well, let's see what Charlesy Canny has to think about that. As I was saying, Charlesy, so many of the horses that we started following last January are on the sidelines now, so it's a brand new ballgame.
Well, that's why we call it the Midsummer Derby. And as with the Kentucky Derby, they're going 1.25 miles, and that is a key factor today. Only 2 horses in this field have actually won at this distance, Ali Deed and BNBN. The rest must prove themselves, but the endurance question is greatest for Dixie Brass. Look for an exciting demonstration of front-running brilliance, plus a great show of courage in the final yards. But his chances today depend on how much he's pressured in that first half-mile, and whether or not Dance Floor shows any of his customary speed. The early fractions will be really critical. Now, stalking the pace closely will be a group of tactical speed horses, all of them dangerous, including Ali D, Furiously, Thunder Rumble, and Tank's Number. And the latter 2 have helpful winning races over this track. But seasoning and experience at this level will really matter today, Jim, and that's why I like Ali Deed and Devil Is Due.
That's your exact, eh? I'll go along with Devil Is Due. Alan Jerkins, of course, having a great meeting the trainer up here. Well, simplicity is the key to the ambiance of Saratoga, like the winner's circle. Look at this, a simple chalked circle on the racetrack. Simplicity and, of course, tradition, like the canoe in the infield lake, still painted in the colors of Bill Young, the well-liked Kentucky sportsman whose Colt Corporate Report won last year's Travers Stakes. Today, of course, the colors on the canoe will change.
Mark and my relationship goes way past business. I'm sure in a previous life he and I were twin brothers. Throughout the race, the driver and crew chief communicate. The driver complains about the car or brags about the car. It's the crew chief's job on pit stops to make whatever fixes he can to help the driver's predicament. Everyone has about the same access to equipment and technology, but the people who rub on it the most and think the most of it and think about it the most will end up winning the race.
The Hilton Bounce Back Weekend. From just $65 a night, Thursday through Sunday. Isn't it time? For reservations, call your travel agent or 1-800-HILTONS.
I don't need some fancy cologne to tell me I'm a man. I use Skin Bracer. It smells great, but it also cools and tones my skin. Confidence is very sexy. Don't you think? Skin Bracer Aftershave.
By Menon.
Bartles and James would like to remind you that their new cooler, Strawberry, goes great with everything you love about summer. Now for dessert, see your retailer and you could win a great trip in the Bartles and James sweepstakes.
Your Dodge dealers announce the wide-open spacious sale. A sale on America's lowest price 6-passenger car, the Spacious Spirit from Dodge. Offering automatic, plus now at no charge air, tilt, tinted glass, cruise, and more. Yes, all at no charge. Now also with $1,000 cash back, up to $2,600 total savings, its lowest price ever, under $11,200. Now at your Dodge dealer.
Coming this Tuesday. adventure from a new time and place. Tuesday, it's Covington Cross.
We're back at Saratoga on a day that Joe Hirsch of the Daily Racing Forum has been coming here for many years. Says it's the most beautiful day for a Travers he's ever seen. A final look at the odds. Dixie Brass 7-2, BN 8-1, Tank's Number 25-1, Hold Old Blue at 26-1. Ali D the favorite now at 8-5. The odds coming down furiously at 7-1. Devil His Due at 5-1. Dance Floor 22-1. Lee and Otto at 80-1, and Thunder Rumble at 7-1. So that's the story, Charlesy. And a competitive race it should be. Up on top of the grandstand in what Red Barber used to call the catbird seat, and ready to do the race for us is Dave Johnson. Dave?
And there's the favorite, Ali Deed, whose grandsire, Ali Dar, won this race by disqualification. Craig Perret aboard. Now here is Furiously, who's earned the least of any of the horses in the field, only $60,000. Mike Smith having a brilliant meet. Furiously making the 5th start of his career here in the Travers. These are all 3-year-olds. It's at 1.25 miles. The track is fast. They all carry 126 pounds. Here's Devil His Due, the first Travers starter for Alan Jerkins. Dance Floor. Third in the Kentucky Derby and the most earnings, $750,000 in the bank. Leonardo, Richard Migliori, longest shot on the board, and the fresh horse, New York bred, recent winner at the Jim Dandy, Thunder Rumble, Herb McCall. All in line. Ready for the start. And they're off. And BN stumbled at the start and is now about 4 lengths behind the field. Dance Floor on the outside. Dixie Brass as expected. From between horses, there goes Hold Old Blue. Middle of the racetrack, Thunder Rumble is 4th and going to lose ground on the first turn. And at the clubhouse turn, Dixie Brass has the lead by a head. Hold Old Blue is in 2nd position. Ali Deed on the outside is racing 3rd. Thunder Rumble is 4th. At the rail, that's Tank's Number 5th. Then comes Dance Floor, caught between horses. Furiously is charging up on the outside with a rush. It's 4 back to Leonardo. After that, it's Devil His Due, and at the back of the pack, BN after a tardy beginning. The first quarter, 23 seconds. The half in 46-3. That's not that fast on this fast of a racing surface. Dixie Brass in front by 1 3/4 lengths. Ali Deed on the outside, 2nd by a head. Hold Old Blue, long shot at the rail, is 3rd. And sneaking up on the inside, Tank's Number is 4th by a head. On the outside, Furiously is now moved into 5th position. Thunder Rumble follows him in 6th. 3.5 back, Leonardo and Dance Floor. Now they swing around the far turn, and it's still Dixie Brass who's led from the start. On the inside, that's Ali Deed, and Furiously is right there on the outside. Then comes Thunder Rumble in 4th, followed by Dance Floor. At the quarter pole, it's Dixie Brass trying to stretch that speed, the 1.25 miles. Furiously on the outside, charges up. Ali Deed looks like he's out of it. In the middle of the racetrack, here comes Hold Old Blue, and down the stretch they come, a furlong to the finish. On the front end, Thunder Rumble draws away by 3. It's Thunder Rumble in front, and Devil His Due is 2nd. It's Thunder Rumble with Herb McCauley. Thunder Rumble, the New York bred who took the Jim Dandy. Now Thunder Rumble wins the Travers, and Devil His Due comes from 2nd, from far back to get the 2nd spot. Thunder Rumble with Herb McCauley at 7-1, home in 2 minutes and 4/5 of a second.
All right, Dave, thank you very much. Thunder Rumble, the New York bred, the unofficial winner of the 123rd Travers Stakes in excellent time of 2 minutes, 4/5 of a second. The track and the stakes record is 2 minutes flat by General Assembly. All unofficial so far. So, Charlesy, what do you think of that?
And Thunder Rumble was one of the fresh ones that we talked about. He had a brilliant race here in the Jim Dandy in which he was able to run down Dixie Brass. What he had going for him, besides his consistency, is his freshness. He's only been beaten once on the dirt. Only one time has he been beaten on the dirt, and proved himself today to be a big contender. There is Ali Deed. He was really pretty much finished starting into the turn. When Furiously moved up outside of him, he seemed not to have too much left and gave way pretty readily in the stretch.
So LED didn't have it today. This was the horse that did. Thunder Rumble, New York bred. New York breds haven't won too many great races like the 123 Travers Stakes, but there he is. He did it today. It's still unofficial, but of course we'll be coming back with the official and with the prices. But Thunder Rumble, ridden today by Herb McCauley, trained by Richard O'Connell, unofficial winner of the Travers.
Coming up, more of the McDonald's Gymnastics Spectacular, featuring Olympic medalists from the Barcelona Summer Games. But now it's time for a regular feature on what's new in the world of sports science and technology.
Sports and Science Converge, brought to you by AT&T, sponsor of the '92 U.S. Olympic team. Horse racing can look graceful and elegant, but with the speed thoroughbreds achieve, it can also be extremely dangerous. Now, several jockeys are putting their safety in their own hands by wearing a flak jacket under their silks. The protective jackets are made of triple laminate sport foam, and for the spinal strip of Spectra, a new polyethylene fiber that is stronger than Kevlar. Weighing less than 2 pounds, the jacket has become a necessity for some jockeys.
It does give me a little bit more peace of mind to know that my spinal cord is a little bit more protected, because that's the one thing that I think is in the back of all jockeys' mind, is the paralyzation factor.
The flak jacket is designed to disperse the effect of any impact, offering vital protection to the jockey's spine, rib cage, and internal organs.
There's just so many dangerous situations you can put yourself in, especially being a jockey. Why I shouldn't take every precaution to be safe.
After all the noise, there's one company who's making long distance simple. Because any way you look at it, AT&T gives you competitive prices. Count on it. Call for call, place for place. After 5, you won't pay more than 15 cents a minute. And most of the time, even less. So now that price isn't the real issue, what should you think about? Remember service, quality?
Hi, that girl.
Look at the big picture.
I don't need some fancy cologne to tell me I'm a man. I use Skin Bracer. It smells great, but it also cools and tones my skin. Confidence is very sexy. Don't you think?
Skin Bracer Aftershave.
By Menon.
Bartles and James would like to remind you that their new cooler, Strawberry, goes great with everything you love about summer. Now for dessert, see your retailer and you could win a great trip in the Bartles and James sweepstakes.
Hey, use a spark plug that's tested to fire clean for 30,000 miles. Motorcraft. Motorcraft quality parts from Ford.
Sure. Unsure. Sure. Unsure. Sure Solid has the most effective wetness fighting ingredient you can buy. So when dryness counts, be sure to be dry.
You know, I've learned if I want to see the best games in college football, I turn to ABC Sports. But sometimes I have more interest in a game ABC's shown in another part of the country than the game they're giving me here. Well, that's when I turn to the option play.
This season, ABC's College Football presents the Option Play. Now, in addition to the game on your local ABC station, you can order extra ABC games live on pay-per-view cable TV. Call your local cable company for more information on this unprecedented offer.
The result is still unofficial here at Saratoga. There is no objection and no inquiry from the stewards, but it's still unofficial. Thunder Rumble, the winner. Devil His Due, second. Dance Floor, third. And Dixie Brass was an unofficial fourth. And you see that time again. Excellent time, 2 minutes, 4/5 of a second. The same as Easy Goer turned in here back in 1989. Now let's go down to Charlesy with Craig Perrette and find out what happened to LED. Charlesy?
Well, that's what we'll try to find out. Craig, LED seemed to be sitting in a good position. The fractions weren't too fast, but when you turned for home, you had no horse.
You know, I felt I was pretty comfortable going through the first turn. He relaxed real good for me, and I was pretty happy. When I got inside the 3.5, I tried to pick him up to move on with, I think it was Shug's horse made a run outside of me, and he couldn't sustain a bid with him, and I knew he was in trouble from there.
He's along the rail there.
Yes, he's right here. He's got nothing to offer for me, and it was just a matter of how far he was going to get beat from here.
No luck for Allie D today. Thank you, Craig, and we'll go back to Jim McKay.
Okay, and Thunder Rumble, you see there is the winner. Here's his rider, Herb McCauley. Congratulations, Herb. What a day.
Thank you very much, Jim. This is what it's all about. We've been through a lot with this horse, and the trainer's done a super job, and he's given me a chance to let this horse do his favorite thing, and that's a run.
And here's Richie O'Connell, the trainer. Congratulations, 20 years of trainer. Your first one up here and a win.
Oh, this big win, big win. This horse cost Herbie the Wood Memorial win because he had to take off the winner to ride my horse, and I had a scratch. But we just made 2 Wood Memorials. This is $1 million. We had a lot of fun.
$1 million, right? I wonder if are we going to get a little replay? I'm talking to my producer. Okay, want to do that now? And we can have a look at that with Herb McCauley and with Richie O'Connell. Here we are. Herb?
Okay, well, here we're coming through the stretch. When he went past him at the head of the lane, I had some horse, and I checked around me, and there wasn't really many horses behind me making a run like I was, and I really felt confident, but I couldn't wait for the wire to get there, that's for sure.
Well, Richie, you know, in 123 runnings, only 4 horses have won the Jim Dandy and the Travers Stakes, and your guy has done it now. Oh, here we have the prices, excuse me. Let's take a look at those. The winner, Thunder Rumble, paying $17.20. Good price, $7.80 and $5.40. Devil His Due, $6.20 and $4.80. And Dance Floor, $6.80. The Exacta, $105. And the Trifecta, $1,973. Those are the official numbers. Now let's take a look at the order of finish in this race. 10 horses in the field. Remember, it was Thunder Rumble, Devil Is Due, Dance Floor, Dixie Brass, Tank's Number, then Furiously, Leonardo, Allie D, the favorite, finished 8th, then Hold Old Blue, and the California horse BNBN was last. So that's the story on the Travers. Unfortunately, we'd end here on a sad note. All of us at ABC Sports would want to send our condolences to our colleague, Bo Schembechler, whose wife, Millie, passed on earlier this week. Bo, our thoughts are with you during this very terrible and trying time.